Alright guys, thank you so much for joining me in this tutorial. Really simple here, we're going to keep it nice and short. This is a tutorial on parallel compression. It's a wonderful technique for sort of beefing up your sounds, in particular drums. So what we're going to do here is that we have a parallel compressor or New York style compressor set on this return channel. I already have most of my drum signals sending some signal to this channel. And so we're just going to do some A/Bing here and learn how to set these up. And if you want to, you could take a look at some of these settings. I'm using a ratio of 8:1. The attack time is really quick, so we're talking about 2 milliseconds. And the release time here, which is really subject to, I guess, your taste and the tempo and material you're working with. I'm working with 50 milliseconds here. You can always experiment, but nonetheless, let's get into it and we'll do a lot of A/Bing in this tutorial. All right, so I'm going to engage the parallel compressor now. All right, if you didn't hear the difference, do not worry. Let's isolate all of these drums here. That would be the orange tracks. And I am going to disable the parallel compressor, and then we'll do some A/Bing, and hopefully we can hear the difference. So this is what the drums sound like without any parallel compression. Pay attention to the snare as I engage it. All right, and without, with. All right, so you can detect the difference there. I think I'm not entirely volume matched, but I find that every time you use some parallel compression, you will experience a slight boost in volume. But nonetheless, let's check out some of these settings. As I mentioned, I'm using 8:1 as a ratio. The attack is set to 2 milliseconds, and of course the release here is at 50. And the threshold, well, let's see how many dBs we are actually taking off. Now it's hard to tell with this Ableton compressor, but I'm taking off quite a few. And if I pay attention to this parallel compression and put it in solo, this is what this sounds like. A lot of smack. All right, so you can see I'm actually sending some of the chord instrument to this particular channel, and that's helping sort of keep the whole vibe of the track cohesive, because all of our drum tracks are running through this parallel compressor as well as our chords, all right, and sort of gelling everything together as everything gets processed somewhat through this return channel. All right, so now that you've become familiar with the sound of this parallel compressor, this sort of smashed sound, let's go ahead and do that test one more time. And if you didn't catch it the first time, I'm sure you're definitely gonna catch it this time. I'm gonna isolate the drums, the chords, and the bass track here. And so I'm gonna disengage the parallel compressor at first, and I'll be toggling this on and off, and hopefully this time around you'll be able to hear the difference. Let's get started. All right, easy peasy. I'll see you in the next one. Bye for now.